of the province gate, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. We recall that in the last quarter, His Excellency being a promise keeper, I told of private people and exam quarter of the year to address our private citizens and the global citizens about the development happening in our private states. Akwa Ibom is one state that everybody is so happy to identify with now, going on the uncommon transformation of the middle-class administration to the sustainable development of the Mr. Udom Emmanuel's water administration. The state has now become a destination of choice for any kind of business, be it leisure or whatever you want. Today, His Excellency is going to be fielding questions across to our common people wherever they may be in the world. Let me tell you that this program is on air, online and on mobile. We are on AKBC Television Channel 45 in York, NTA Channel 12 is hooking up across Planet Radio, Atlantic Radio, and yes, AKBC Radio 90.5 FM. All these stations in our community are giving up. And for online followers, you can join us on www.aforementioned.gov.ng live. You can also join us on Facebook on AKSG.gov. And then our Twitter handle is on AKSGov. You can join us on all the comments. His Excellency is right here to receive you are going to call your questions. Your Excellency, welcome to the program. Thank you. It is really a pleasure to have you on the program. After the last quarter we had and you said you were back here. And since that time, Your Excellency, something very important happening between then and now. After months of occupation marked by suspense and tension, the election of the government of Akwa was finally affirmed by the Supreme Court. How did we receive those news and what have we learned from the entire episode? Considering the kind of noise we had in the state, and how has it impacted on the offensive direction of the administration?
And let me first of all start by saying thank you to all of our people for the support I've received in the past 10 months. It is not precedented that PDP could rise members to support the government this week. And I thank you for the understanding of our people. Thank you for believing in the government. Thank you for believing in the fact that we are looking to the next level. Let me say something crucial there. You are raising the issue about the Supreme Court judgment. I know now, if I say first it's rules, they go simply because that was going on, but that's not the case. If you remember my few media chats in the past quarters, I'm not going to step it. That's only God that can make anything. And if God is the one that makes everything, He knows how to sustain that event as well. And find out from what we are close to, even a day before the Supreme Court judgment, I was still working normal in my office, as if anything had never happened. And then, just calm. Let me also put the wind back. A day before our Christmas carol, the appeal court came up and affirmed the entire election. The next day, we went up to the hospital. And I pronounced Some of them lost faith, even in Moses and even in God. And even our God accusing God. Why did you bring on that belief to think that this portion of the races that were about crossing? Because immediately they crossed over, that you could smell the victory. So glory and all of them was a song. It wasn't quite many of them, they met the critical waters of power. No one still showed it. So I want to reassure our people that this is still a cement after God. May we never reach the fear of God. That's why I keep saying so. That those ones to affect, those who affect, and I hope that way, that God will promise. Okay, let's have to start with that question because I recall the last time you joined us on a program of this nature, a colleague of ours that was on the program, Miriam, asked what were your expectations about that Supreme Court judgment, and then incidentally, Miriam is my co-presenter of the program, and very good on what I did because she's the one that asked that question. We wanted to do a follow-up to what you said the last time. Miriam is a guarantee because of the nature of this program. We are to be here together. Miriam, Your Excellency, His Excellency is here.
Let me start by congratulating you. The last question I asked the last time we met, what are your expectations from the Supreme Court judgment? I never knew what it would turn out to be, and for those of us who have been around, we can tell how it all went. Suspense, tension, uncertainties, people abandoning their faith and all of that. But today, thank God we are seeing a different sound. Excellency, I won't hold the line of the Supreme Court judgment. I'd like to take you back to where you started from. By the 29th of May 2016, next month we shall be celebrating 1 year in office of your administration, and that tells me we are approaching 11 months in office since you took over. Now, if I ask you how you have fared, I can preempt what you will say, but people should assess me. So let me now ask what your perception of governance is now compared to what it was before you came in as governor of Akwa Ibom State.
Thank you so very much for that question. You're asking about perception. Exactly. At times, perception is the reality. It's not the reality. Perception now is that I could have been a governor at a better time than now. What am I saying so? Is that, see, God is the one who prepares future leaders. God knew when He took me through all the schools that He will come. When I'm running, the reality of God of 20% or, less than 25% of what our Bible needs to get that revenue. God knows that there will be a time like this where so many steps they won't be able to pay salary, and He will make sure that He puts somebody like me that will go on time to at least make some sacrifices and show genuine love for our people to make sure things move forward. One day there will be a time like this that will need me, somebody like me, to actually talk and connect with Him all the time, because it's a cause of peace, so that I can actually ensure that our people live in peace and unity. God knew there will be a time like this that we need somebody who will be collecting 2.3, 2.4 billion. When the wage bill of high school teachers and low government employees is in the region of 2.7, 2.8 billion, and I must go and need finance ingenuity to ensure that those people collect their salaries. I'm just talking about what to do. God knew there will be a time like this where our colleagues will be falling short of who paying those salaries, and who will expect the street lights must be on, the scheme must be clean, other, cost of running governance must be up and running. God knew there will be a time like this. So, in terms of reality and perception, I think we are meeting neck to neck. And I explained to that what we are seeing right now. The last time I checked my economic statements from my business school, it is what we call a normal curve in economics. You can never pick it out of life. Right now, if you fly a little around map, you see that as this section of the world is on a curve of light, brightness, sun, there are other curves of a similar structure that are in darkness, in both left and right. That's the nature of God, that's the nature of life, that's the nature of the world. Now we are the lower in our economic measurable index that you want to actually talk. Tomorrow, we will climb up and up, and then we will peak and decline. That's the nature of life. Condition is strong. That's how it says in the common highlights. But at any point in time, people don't always be in a situation that we said that the law said that you go and check. You didn't do anything. Show me one bill in rates for divestment of your mother. Show me any of you have given out to the creditors. There must be something about drawing people back. Because why am I making this statement is like today, the Catholics, the largest congregation in the world today, was involving in something they call divine mercy. Was trying to show people the mystery of divine mercy. So I must mix all together. Permit me, because you see, you cannot actually change people like the pattern to core value system government. I want you to make believe a place like Akwa Ibom, no matter what, 99.99% Christians. I can never support governance from God. So I must mix the two together and make sure I do what we're able to. So I will leave it there until I follow so many other explanations. Let me not take all that to go. Let me take a flair from the you mentioned the issue of salaries and how the economy is deplorable nationwide. I think probably as it were. Now, even the federal government, even with the president, has had to tell the world how difficult it is to manage the government as it were now. You know, all of them are managing to pay salaries. I mean, how have you been able to get a consume the fact that last case in Nigeria, prison cannot carry out some of these very important responsibilities? Thank you, James. But permit me, because this is a mixed program. I'm not the business school, so I'm not able to pull out all the graphs and video, economic judgments. But it's just simple. When we were young, my mother used to tell me that people talk about common sense. That common sense is a sense that could be blocked by any human being. But once something is not blocked by any human being, it's not even supposed to work. The bad circumstances will not be common sense anymore. What we do today is so that new people future business. The last time I checked, some of us have attended one business school after. Some of us, I'm sure, in the past. Those things must put together to come to the at a time like this. At the time when depression is jamming the daily inflation. Some things must come to be. At a time like this, there must be some ingenuity. When I was campaigning, I tried to let my people know that money can equal to whether or not you develop to make it big. And I had to give us definition of how it comes. But it is left for people like us to find a way to come back to create money. Because we also mentioned when the mention something, what was the goal of it on the internet? People who were just trying to express all approval when the house of assembly for a guarantee of 15 billion. This is how much is 15 billion. But you see, I just smile because people need to also understand the realities of time and we are. The big money is gone for the futures of 14.5%. When the cost, which is even below the cost of capital in Nigeria, but that's a division of the cost of capital in Nigeria is more than 15%. The cost of borrowing in Nigeria is over 22.3%. The government is raising the paper, the new guarantee that will be backed by futures of 14.5 perhaps for due process and concept so that it will continue to work well. Some people, I just, when some of my colleagues share it to me, I said, sorry sir, I'm not doing issues with this group. The last time I checked, I think that the best possible I take a business school. Some of these people will say that they won't go through. They only know how to try business. So just pardon some of their comments and so on. But the coastal business, at the time like this, they were passionate about their people. Passionate about that young child. When you judge at this point in time, people must go to school. We must still go through and compulsory education. I tell you, these women are giving birth. And we must allow us to give them free of charge in the general hospital. At the point like this, children between the ages of 1 to 5 will still fall ill. And they must take care as a government. So at a time like this, people will never ask, how manage? How do you go about it? So it is very easy. Even in Nigeria today, I'm sure right now, when we are on this studio, the people who football match is going somewhere. We know some of us that are so good to be encouraged. from the comfort of our living room, to do that best striker. And when you are there, it is not the same thing. So people should actually remember, it's at the time like this, we pay school fees, we run these schools, we pay even our exam fees, so that children can go to school. Not only children of a human origin, but to see, go to some of the schools and tell us that people of neighboring states are in the country there, to get from the bond education, to get from medical care, the best ones and the ones of the children came out of that. So things are still running. And as I said, I'm really not trying to have a solution. But Paul also said in Corinthians, some have a boost and service, you give it in the strength of the means of the power, and that's still the grace of God. And also thank God for giving us the grace. And at the same time, to let me also say something. As a leader, as a time, your position must call for sacrifice. Don't deny yourself. But something I know of things so that things can move on. I think this also a point in time. But as a leader to make a home and sacrifice, I've tried as much as possible to make sure things move on. I'm sure by then you get into areas of investment and other areas of governance in the past 10 years. Most of these questions answer that. So some of them will just come up. Some answers will come up to measure the extent of consistency of what we are doing.
Okay, Excellency, let me come in there. You've taken us to the State House of Assembly. You've talked about the loans and all of that. Projects have to be completed. Can you kind of explain to our global people in the world the rationale behind the rejection of the federal government billet? Let's get the understanding.
Thank you. You know, sometimes I'm trying to say about the human technical. A lot of people come to me on the issue of the burnout, but I should go for burnout. I say if I go for burnout, I'm not sure I want to put cases I went to the prison into practice. You see, like, minimum 40% of what you get, that's what you go to do. That's what I'm doing that you get. That's why I'm not to school. I'm also to know the whole world. I'm not getting the evidence. You can see to know the whole world came up and spread this summit because of one or two countries that actually shorting the peace in the whole world. That's the one we don't compete with. Now, what they have of experience is ingenuity, creativity, and confidence that are in the world. So, when you're talking about how come, in a very simple answer, so that the classroom person can understand. Also, fully well. At the period inflationary trend that faced the economy like ours, and when you bring a point for them, I will not be the future. And I refuse to. Because when we what I saw, and I have been what others saw at that point in time, what I could see was few illnesses. The one actually permits me to actually go for $1. It would have been difficult for me to go for $1 and then just use to go as my price. But at the end of the day, that's not the foundation that I want to be economically. And I think we're telling people, the global 7 to now, the global G7 that sit, when they sit at that time based on their economic power. Nobody sits there at political or anything. Nobody sits there and what makes you know is your economic strength. So, which means that in the world today, governance is all about economy. If the economy is not better, how come the God himself first of all have to take care of the economy of the children of Israel for them to go into war, not to the doesn't even the promised land. The Bible says their shoes is not water, that's economy. We give them water, food to eat every day, that's economy. My colleague, like it will call it establishment. So, certainly there are few things that need to must be a foundation. So, when I looked at some of your promises. I recall that during the campaign, you were there in the studio and you made a promise and you going to practice for the appointment come out. And so you came on board the last 3 months. You came on board in that direction. You never made the rules and all these initiatives and to bring in to bring in foreign investors and to bring in some very beautiful policies in agriculture, to also about industrialization. A lot of things have happened. What concerns most people is how soon should a group of people have to expect benefits, dividends from these initiatives. Young women, thank you, John, and thank you very short. Commission wants to be, not just about that, even on my personal journey. One man, somewhere, sometime, somehow, must start something that would be enjoyed. I don't know who I've ever asked. We've been shouting poverty and inflation in Nigeria for several years, at least in the past 16-17 years. The question is, what result are we doing as a country? I don't really have experienced in the zone of poverty and inflation. So, we are always trapped into this situation of value of question. How soon? Remember in those days, we used to laugh because we didn't think it was a good English, but it made a whole lot of sense. In my philosophy class, we used to have a lecturer who was a fantastic person. When he comes in, every time he speaks to me, it's what we call the venture of nature. And we used to laugh. We told him, you know, that no matter how much sense, no matter what I do as the human being, there's a limit to which the genetically engineered products all over the world can actually allow us to. And even with that, an average African man will never want the genetically engineered products to be working with you. So, the best I can get comfort and produce must follow the nature. The best I can get palm produce to you must follow the nature. But one thing I want to reassure people, except somebody someday starts and lays a foundation. Believe me, because even now, those quick fix that we are fixing, that is telling us nowhere. All those quick fix actually have a strong foundation. We have built on it, and people could have grown on it. Because the question now is, if there was poverty and migration 16, 20 years ago, and you had someone like $1 million with you, and there was an employment foundation, that $1 million today is supposed to have actually went to the millionaire. Because I don't want to mention any because I have a lot of program. And one of the richest men today, they could be amongst the top 50 or so. But I read that the father gave him only $1 million. And today, he's one of the richest men in the whole world. And why did it happen that way? Because that $1 million went in an environment that all the gains. 200, 300, 100 times what the market. There's no appropriate pricing. So what I'm trying to tell my people is that, look, instead of cracking that kernel and taking it there and then just not making anything out of it, let me create a situation where I can process the kernel so that right on the spot I can buy it at a competitive international market price, where you can bring the cocoa. We can open a Red Cross LC. You can also sell it. In those days I used to hear X this, X that. We are trying to create an environment where that cocoa will be sold X in Canada or X in Gipsy Port, X Akwa Ibom, X Udom, X this, X that. And what matters most is not that money. What matters most is appropriate pricing for that cocoa. So you can see, we're not actually doing much. The plantation is growing. We can actually raise a shot with what we are putting in mechanization, awareness, the creative ideas that we are bringing, the same yield. We are hoping that at least we should be able to double the yield of where we are now in less than 2 years from now. And we are up, we are running. Even as a governor, I'm going to hold a plantation. Because you see, people just fail to understand the basic things of life. Who on planet Earth, starting from the president of the entire world to the downtrodden man, who wake up in the morning and doesn't survive on the basic things of life. Those basic things are things that people can actually make a living and make a whole lot of wealth out of it. These are common things. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't cost anything to do.
Your Excellency, I am privileged to be a journalist, and by virtue of my job, I go seeking information from all over the grassroots, the cities, and everywhere. Recently, precisely in the month of February, we were privileged to get to the local government area, and then we were faced with a very huge or massive road project, unimaginable, I must say. We're privileged to get to Abia State. The road terminates in Abia State. We're privileged to get there, and then we spoke with the people there. Let me reserve their comments. But my question is, Your Excellency, my interest is that for me as a journalist, I know that some things are happening somewhere. In the area of road construction, electrification, urban renewal, and all of that. Now, we'd like to get your progress report. You know, in the past over 10 months, now let's get your progress report, and probably we could just tie it to your groundbreaking ceremonies which you carried out, even in the heat of litigations from the Petitions Tribunal to the Appeal Court to the Supreme Court. You were busy, very busy, breaking ground. Let's get your progress report.
Thank you, Miriam. Let me. It will be difficult for me to start analyzing everything we've done in the past 10 months under this program. One could be intentional, because the other day I was speaking with the journalist. I told him of an idea I was generating, which was the main reason why I started developing sports centers in all the 10 federal constituencies in the state. The next minute, I heard a different thing from one of the states in Nigeria. So I try to be a little bit cautious. Unfortunately, they say politics, you must scream for everybody to know what you're doing. But I don't think this is the time for me to scream. The Bible says there's time for everything. The sowing time is totally different from harvest time. We are still so much in the sowing time. If at the sowing time, you let out all your strategy, you know, if you sow something, man, you don't forget that story in the Bible. They say when you now left the farm, you know, the enemy went there and sowed tares with the crops. And I'm trying to be a little bit careful. I know if you go around, I promise my people that we'll try to balance governance. We'll make sure everybody is carried along. We try to spread, even with the paucity of funds, we try to spread development across the state. I'm sure that's why those people were excited. In that Oboroka, they had 2 bridges. Children were not going to school. They were completely cut off from schools. That's why across that other bridge, you will see some kiosks. Exactly. People setting up some, you know, private, unroofed, you know, Tata buildings in order to run private schools. Why? Because the pupils that were to cross, they were cut off because those 2 bridges had collapsed. And as God will give us the grace, by the time we went on campaign, the immediate past governor made them a promise that government is continuing. Once Udom comes in, he will do it. We try as much as practical to live by our words. And where we cannot meet it because we are man, we are not God, we must explain to the people. To us, that's accountability that we owe people. Where we think we can create some ideas, create some money anywhere, try to do whatever we can, where we can tie to those projects, that's what you see us do there. Get to that place now. We are trying to open an economic base of that area to the entire world, link them up with neighboring states, and try to see how we can open up, and also let those children go to good schools that we are building across that small stream. I won't call that a river, irrespective of what it is. It's difficult for pupils to cross and then go to school, and those areas were completely, cut off from the state. And today, I'm sure they are very happy. We've given them a new lease of life. It's not only in that area. We try to touch almost all areas. Go to Nsiri, Udom government now. You see a road that was abandoned for several years. We're almost putting fire on it. If I want to, I can commission on May 29 as part of my 1 year in office. Go to Ikono. There were some roads that I learned NDDC wanted to do those roads. Mind you, since you are a journalist, I will also give you a list one day of all the projects in the state that the NDDC started that they never completed. Some of those things affect our people directly. I cannot leave it. That road I'm doing today in Ikono, that road was commissioned by NDDC. I don't know what happened, because it affects the welfare of my people. I'm taking it over. They are working on it right now. It cuts across the whole state, and it boils on my 3 cardinal areas, pillars of industrialization. I say those 3 pillars will actually hang on the 3 gateways. A, land, water. A, what are we doing? When you go to the airport, it speaks for itself. Irrespective of the propaganda and everything they are writing on the internet, it doesn't move me. I'm here to do a job. People will go and snap a bare land in his village and come and tell you nothing is happening at the airport. But people are landing every day. But I want to reassure people that the taxiway we are doing there is to make sure that we start cargo services, because there are 3 gateways to creating wealth and also jump-starting the economy of this area. By A is that airport. The taxiway we are running there, you can even see the quality of lighting that we want to put there. Can carry a 747-400 cargo series. Can carry an A380-800 cargo series. And that's what we're working on. So that we can actually start cargo services there. If not for the way, in those days when we used to hear the pidgin English. There was a song they used to sing in pidgin English. They say money the yap man. If not the money the yap man now. You would have seen a fantastic, terminal building springing up there with 8 avion bridges that can actually take an A380, fully designed, even up to the chandelier that will come up in that airport. We have a design, we have a costing. And let me also mention something to Akwa Ibom people here. The costing, the quantities of whatsoever we prepare and we bring out, people can test it anywhere in the world. Even the roads we are doing, we call it really in a developing economy, in an emerging economy. We call our economy emerging economy. How much is a road anywhere in the world per kilometer expressed in dollars? Then what you can do is just probably an inconvenience allowance of 10% or less or more, or a little more. And then that will give you an international market pricing, and then you can compare that anywhere in the world. So I think that's why people are also happy. We are applying best practice where governance can think of, with a high level of transparency and accountability. If I tell you how much we came in May 29, 10 months, the volume of work you're seeing on that, some people call it second runway, and they are not mistaken, because the day I will resurface the main runway, 737-700 series can conveniently land on that area you call a taxiway, with the quality of lighting, the quality of work done there, and nothing will happen. And certainly that's what we'll do when we are resurfacing the main runway to allow the international operations that we are praying for. We'll make use of this, and 737 will still land. So if you look at those gateways, is it the deep sea port? Somebody asked me when I went on the Thanksgiving service in Bo, I should come and explain what happens to the deep sea port. I said, sorry. Things have faces. The face we are today, that's the second gateway, which is water. The face we are today in the Udom deep sea port, we are meeting all our deadlines. We are meeting all timelines that we actually set for everything to be done. There are some new surveys we are going to make with commissioned. There are certain pre-qualification exercises we needed to do. We are on course. We are quite on track. Unfortunately, people cannot see that physical work done now because things of international nature of that, there's a whole lot to be done first on paper in the office before those things are taken for the civil engineering that people will see physically. But believe me, we are quite on track. We are not even waiting on that too, because you see, you must also learn from the mistakes of others. We are also discovering if we do a deep sea port that will take care of transshipment. This is a hub for logistics. Akwa Ibom, actually, if you look at the map of Akwa Ibom where it's located, Akwa Ibom is supposed to be a hub for logistics. I don't see why aeroplanes, before they cross the Atlantic Ocean into America, should stop only at Cape Verde. I don't see why they should go to Tenerife. And unfortunately for Africa, Tenerife is not managed, it's off the coast of Morocco, but it's managed by Spain. Cape Verde is not managed by any African country, it's managed by Portugal. So does it mean that we Africans, we can run any of this logistics center? So I see Akwa Ibom as that logistic hub where people would also transship both by water and by air could actually stop here. So that's where we're also looking at a different water channel to create a jetty that can actually take care of downstream ATK, PMS, AGO, LPFO and the likes. And that's also a jetty that could take care, because when you look at the entire southern part of where do we get our flour from, and if there is anything I know is a common meal all over the world, anywhere you go to is bread. So and here we are, we don't even know where we get our flour from. Nobody checks the standard, nobody checks the quality, and today it has even crept into chicken as well. That's why I promised Akwa Ibom people that I must develop a hatchery. I don't care what it will cost me. And today we are under our PPP model. We are just hoping, bearing unforeseen circumstances, we are hoping that by May 29 the first chick should come out of our hatchery, because we just see chicken lab, chicken brace in the market. No testing, we don't know the standard, we don't know where it comes from, we don't know who smuggled what, we don't even have time to check. Why? Because, you know, it's an emerging market. Let me not say more than that. Okay. So I can go on and on and on about the economies of the whole state. Let me allow you.
Okay. No, Your Excellency, please, you've not answered the second part of my question, the groundbreakings.
Let me take you on the groundbreakings. If you check in the past few months, we've had, you know, we're overwhelmed by the number of investors that are coming here. A lot of groundbreakings have been done. Some of them the construction is on. Take for example like the automobile. After the groundbreaking, we needed the coordinates, we needed to design the containers. If you go there now, the containers have come in. We expected like 2 had coming. We actually had issues because some of them went to Ketu, so they are retrieving them back. We needed approval from the National Automotive Council. These are things we've done before we get that place now up. So right now it's for us to take electricity and water into that place, then we'll start. On the lead factory that we wanted to set up, it's the same thing. The coordinates, the design, and you know, because we want to follow due process, we actually will first of all do 21 notice of the land, we'll get back the land, we'll do this, we'll pay compensation, then we'll go through all the documentation process, because we want to set up a factory that will stand the test of time. We must do environmental impact analysis, we've done in all of them. We do the soil, we do everything you can think of. That's why I say best practice that we are following. But some of those groundbreaking will be faster than the others. Take for example, the meter factory will be faster because we, at the first phase of that meter factory, we are not transferring technology. We're only assembling. By the third phase, we would have transferred technology. That's the agreement we signed. At this point, it is the Akwa Ibom people that will craft that technology. That's why we are working seriously. The technical school in the Bionologu government, some of those equipment could be obsolete, but we're actually also looking on how to partner with the rest of the world to see how we can build a proper skill development center. I don't call it training school any longer. I call it skill development center, where our skill set should be able to match the level of our industrialization policy. So some of those groundbreaking, that is where we are going. Then for the likes of the methanol, I mean, you know, we've gone far now. What is remaining now is just a gas agreement. And you know, mobile is NNPC mobile. Yeah. So there's a leg that concerns the federal government. Federal government, you can't rush federal government. They work at their pace. But I think mobile is ready, quantum is ready. We are going to run on that. Few refineries will be coming in, which we didn't just want to rush into groundbreaking again on those refineries. We are doing documentation with NNPC and those people, and you know, refinery want to make sure they finish the refinery before they ship. Okay. So it at that point we'll do the groundbreaking and then also see how we can bring. As I said, Akwa Ibom is a good location for logistics. Most of those refineries will solve the problem. Today, for almost 1 month now, there are long queues. People buying fuel. 3 days ago, there was a major challenge on aviation fuel in Nigeria too. So many domestic airlines operations were grounded. So this is the area we believe we can actually take it on and see. It doesn't cost that much. A modular refinery anywhere in the world can actually take care of this section of the country. We need to set them up severally. You know, waiting on NNPC alone for Kaduna refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, is not enough. Modular refineries all over the place can provide employment and also cater for this. And I don't see why Nigeria, and this is my personal opinion, I don't see why Nigeria, the position we are today in West Africa, every West African country should be buying refined products from Nigeria because of our position. We are so blessed. Is it human resource? What do we need? So I think the present Minister of State for Petroleum Resources is doing a whole lot and is actually going the right direction. If he's given all the encouragement, which I'm sure the President is also so much poised to do this, I think we should be able to have a leeway to actually solve some of these problems. I think I've touched on almost all the ShopRite is constructing. Okay. ShopRite is constructing. Let me also say something about Tropicana. Tropicana is designed to be a one-stop family center. That's why you see hotel. And if you go in front of that Tropicana, I don't know, you say you are a journalist. I've never seen you write about it. There was a den.
We've done so much about it.
There was a den that hoodlums were occupying. It was a thick forest. They call it 10th anniversary. You can imagine something that was done in the 10th year. Yeah. And today we're in the 29th year. What that would be.
19 years down.
So 19 years, any bush you live for 19 years is a thick forest. Especially in this vegetation that we have. It's a thick forest. But under this government, if you could go, I just checked. Aluko-born, modern, high-tech, intelligent office is springing up there. That office complex you're seeing is coming up, even with a garage, where we service government vehicles. Okay. You know, we service government. It's coming with a firefighting center, because every time something comes up here, we keep relying on some construction companies. If Julius Berger does not come to our aid, we also want to set up a Ministry of Works workshop there, where we can actually take care of some of these. These are, you know, a simple, total. As I said, these things are not rocket science at all. These are simple approach that will take care of the basic needs of government. Go and check that place. From 19 years of forest today, it's one of the most intelligent office complexes. Yeah. Almost all ministries are asking me they want to go there. And behind that place, we want to also develop a residential estate. Yeah. That's why I said Tropicana is designed to be a one-stop. I'm talking outside ShopRite. ShopRite is constructing now. Yeah. I'm still talking to other, store chain to look at, the area you have the conference center. Yeah. To see if we develop that conference center. Can we actually have a bridge, where people at break time, at lunch break during conference center, can you actually follow that bridge and then descend into a shopping mall with a different, brand name that can actually merge with the ShopRite, and then also take it, and then hotel that will be able to support. So, as I said earlier, I go back to my broken English. My money, they have. We have the ideas. We have what it takes to run the economy. The money is coming. Yes.
Excellency, we have to be a little quiet today, because it's not every day Akwa Ibom people have the privilege of meeting their governor. We have to give you all the time to explain these issues, and our Akwa Ibom people are quite appreciative. Okay? In case you are just joining us, this is a special interview with His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. I'm supposed to be a quarterly program. We were here last quarter, and here we are again today. The program is online, on air, and on mobile. We are on AKBC Radio, AKBC Television, and NTA. We are on Planet Radio, and of course Atlantic Radio. And like I said, we are online. You can hook up to ours on www.akwaibomstate.gov.ng live. Okay, in the interest of our dear listeners, let me inform you that you will soon be joining us live on the program. The television viewers and those online are already privileged to have the lines, but in the interest of the radio listeners, there are two numbers through which you can speak directly with your governor. The first number is 081 84 836 925. The second number is 090 990 62962. I'll repeat the numbers: 0818 4836 925. The second number is 0909 906 2962. Join us. We're going to take a short break at this point in time. When we come back, we'll take all your calls, and in this part of the program, it will be the governor. Behold your people, and Akwa Ibom people, behold your governor. We take that break. We come back. The governor will be here for you all day. Stay tuned.
There is a land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here, Mary Celeste called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here, Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves, and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the land of promise.
I believe in the collective power
of you and I. Together, we can build upon existing legacies to birth the land of our dreams. Let us work as one, devoid of tribal sentiments and political differences.
Let's throw away violence
and embrace peace. Let us work with government to make Akwa Ibom an industrial hub, create employment for our youths, boost security, agriculture, and healthcare. I am you, and you are me.
We are the future.
We can make a difference. Let's come together and embrace the new Akwa Ibom, an Akwa Ibom under the leadership of our governor, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. For
we believe in Akwa Ibom.
There is a land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here, Mary Celeste called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here, Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves, and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the land of promise.
Akwa Ibom.
I believe in the collective power
of you and I. Together, we can build upon existing legacies to birth the land of our dreams. Let us work as one, devoid of tribal sentiments and political differences.
Let's throw away violence
and embrace peace. Let us work with government to make Akwa Ibom an industrial hub, create employment for our youths, boost security, agriculture, and healthcare. I am you, and you are me.
We are the future.
We can make a difference. Let's come together and embrace the new Akwa Ibom, and Akwa Ibom under the leadership of our governor, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. For
We believe in Akwa Ibom.
There is a land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here, Mary Slessor called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here, Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves, and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the land of promise.
Welcome back. You are still on to the special interview program with His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, and the program is reaching you online, on mobile, and on air. We are on AKBC Television Channel 45. We are Radio Akwa Ibom, NTA Planet Radio, and of course Atlantic Radio. My name is James Edith. Joining me to host His Excellency is Miriam Oko, and like I said earlier, we are not just the ones who are privileged to host His Excellency today. The entire Akwa Ibom State at home and in the diaspora now have the opportunity to host their governor. Akwa Ibom people, Nigerians, behold your governor. And Your Excellency, your people now. Let's take some calls. Let me take this first caller. Hello. Let's see if we can take this caller. Hello. 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 Yeah, let's see if you can take. A lot of people are trying to join us from the lines. There are two lines actually. Keep on trying. We take your calls as they come. We can also, let me also promise you that we're going to take some of the calls, the ones we have, some of your text messages that you've sent in. Okay, but Miriam, I think we can start from what we have from what is trending now on Governor Udom Emmanuel speaks. Okay, this question is from the United States of America. The gentleman who has sent in the question is Emmanuel Ifon. He says, Your Excellency, your predecessor spent money and time in creating tourism hotspots in the state to enhance development in that sector. What are your plans to consolidate on those high-profile structures and aesthetics, knowing the possible impact of that sector, the tourism sector, on the state IGR?
Well, I'm sure in the course of our discussion we'll touch a little on aspect of this tourism. I talked about the tropical, and so I don't need to repeat that again. What we are doing, and let me also tell Ifan here that most of those structures, infrastructure set up for tourism, they are ongoing projects. You can actually launch them out at this point in time. Take for example the hotel we have in Udom Emmanuel. We are here to put the systems in place. If I can mention it, let me not go a little bit technical. If I come down to a common language, everybody will understand. The amenities in place, the culinaries, the bed sheets, those few things, and those things cost a lot of money in such a big hotel. And as I said, there are still some engineering aspects we need to tidy up. Once we have the required funds, we should be able to tidy it up. And we also wanted to link up the route between Uyo and Udom Emmanuel straight to that hotel, so that the day we open for business, it should just have a proper flow. So such edifice is not a standalone in terms of tourism. We must also link it up to actually be able to draw the necessary benefits. These are the things we are doing. These are ongoing. The project is ongoing. Once we complete, we'll make a statement about that. Okay. Taking the Tropicana, I've already explained that. Tropicana, as of today, is only 62 shops that are ready. We can actually launch out with 62 shops because that won't be able to even take care of the diesel consumption of that complex. So we need to do a little more in order to launch it, and also need to take up the hotel. So it's ongoing. Once we complete, we'll make a statement on those areas. But what we're trying to do is also we make sure we maintain. I think somebody is on the line.
Yes. Hello. Okay. Let's take this one. Hello. I think this should be network problem.
We have someone there.
So there's someone here. Let's see if you can take this call. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. The network providers, I hope they will cooperate with us today. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, Your Excellency, was taking that. Let's take this one. This one comes from so many of them from another. It says, Your Excellency. Okay, we've taken that. It says, Akwa Ibom in diaspora. 11 months of the governor on the saddle. Industrialization has had its impact even in the Western world. How prepared is your administration in managing pollutants and industrial waste in view of the impact of what we're going to have from the industrialization in the state? That's from Tony Ayo in Lagos.
Tony, I want to thank you concerning if you check, how do you get yourself prepared? First of all, you try to prepare yourself from the people that you have. I didn't just only get concerned about just industrial waste. I'm also bothered about clinical waste. So first of all, what we did was to bring a tested medical doctor to head our Minister of Environment, so that at least when he explains or when he lies with the people, he can take the language perfectly and understandably to the people. But let me say here that government today is trying to partner with some private sector initiatives on waste management and waste disposal. If you're moving towards the junction, towards the end of the Ekritam Road, that will veer off into Kalabait Road, there's a site we've acquired. We've actually started some structures there. Wanted to partner with a private initiative to see how we can manage waste. It's still a challenge. I must admit, I'm an emerging market. I'm a developing economy. I cannot pretend to have an absolute solution on waste management that is plaguing the entire of Africa. Because I can't claim to be a first world when I'm a third world. But within the resources of a third world, we are not just watching. We are making sure our waste disposal, especially clinical waste, meets the international standard. I think these are some of the things we are putting in place. We are bringing personal touch and also under our PPP model to see how we can actually manage those waste. By the time we launch most of them out, people will get to have much more details. As I said, it's not everything we'll say online today.
And so on air.
And on air too. So that I don't mention who is coming to partner with me now. Next day, I hear him in another continent.
Yes, I think we have a caller. Hello? Hello, good evening. Good evening. Hello? Good evening. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Can you speak up? Hello?
Can I turn down the volume of
Please turn the volume of your television so we can hear you loud and clear. Hello, good evening. Hello? The network providers are not have because
I think it's connected.
Hello?
Let's check it.
Hello?
You're on.
Please turn down the volume of your television set.
Let him say what he wants.
Yes, good evening. Go on, let's hear you.
I want to ask Mr. Our Governor Udom Emmanuel, that in the next year, what are we to expect of him?
You say, Lord, what?
I want to ask Governor Udom Emmanuel, what are we to expect of him in the next 3 years?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Your Excellency, I think you can hear. It says what
are we expecting in the next 3 years?
Should expect from you the next 3 years.
Well, you are taking me back to what are the agenda that we've actually set for the whole state. What you should expect in the next 3 years is, number one, we should be able to create wealth for our people. We should be able to lay a solid foundation for our economic growth. And by the next 3 years, we should be able to develop the major gateways to our industrialization policy. This we are pursuing aggressively. We should be able to create jobs. That we are doing. Even tomorrow, I'm launching a scheme on small and medium scale enterprises scheme that we're going to support the youth and so on. We also try to key into the funds that will actually support that, and the funds are already with us. So we're at the point of disbursement. We still need to follow certain processes to make sure that those funds, people don't collect them and then just waste them. We want to guide the people to ensure that those funds actually make an impact economically in the lives of the people. So we just believe in the next 3 years we should be able to create jobs for our people, create wealth for our people, improve on the infrastructure that we have, and then above all, make sure that at least Akwa Ibom have moved to compete with the rest of the world in terms of development.
Okay, yes, there's another caller. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Please turn down. Please turn down the volume of your television so the radio shows wherever you are.
To the governor.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Down the volume of your radio or television set and then tell us your name.
Okay, I know what you do. Radio.
So what do you radio or television from?
Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead with the
Yes. What's your name? Yes. Tell us your name and your question.
I said I wanted to ask the governor about I have a problem with my with my pension, gratuity and pension.
Okay, what's your name,
we
sir?
retired last year. Yeah, we retired last year, and I have not been paid my pension.
Okay, Your Excellency, I think.
Thank you for asking that question
about pension and gratuity.
Thank you for taking me on that. Please let me make this clear to everybody. We are not owing pensions to anybody. Pensions, I mean. Salaries and pensions are paid promptly. But what people don't want to do is that people don't want to go through the verification exercise. And unfortunately, I won't be able to help you. Because in order to help you to help the economy of the state, I say if you have a BVN with your biometrics, go up and be verified so that your pension can be prompt. We want to ensure that we run what I call a full inclusion and not a false inclusion in our pension payment. So if you really want to make sure that your pension is promptly getting to your bank account, please ensure we have your BVN, you're verified, your biometrics is captured and everything. With that you would not have any issue. But as we are here today, we are not owing any month of pension and salaries. We are paying pensions and salaries promptly. So check to ensure that at least you've gone through the verification exercise.
Okay, so there's another call. Hello? Hello, good evening? Hello? We seem to be having a with that particular line. Okay. Let's say hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Please, if you are joining the program, turn down the volume of your television. So now really,
go ahead, your name and
your name, where you're calling from.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Nini.
What's your name again?
Yes. I'm watching.
Hello?
I am sure about your local government.
In the local government. Okay, ask your question. Let's have your question.
Hello?
Let's have your question.
I am sure about you from the local government.
Ask your question.
From Kari.
Okay, from Kari in the local government in Song Fabio. The governor is here. Ask your question.
Yes, since 2000. Yes, since 2011, the procedures for inquiries that have been taken by the state government. Until now, nothing has been done. And people are dying every week. So we are only on the attention of the governor to please help us.
What did you say is the problem?
We generate so many things in agricultural sector has been abandoned, sir.
Okay.
I'm watching you live now. That is why I'm going to call.
Okay, are you talking about the
community crisis?
Okay.
Community crisis.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bobby. The issue of Kari, right from the time I was SSG, was brought to my attention, and we set up a committee, and that committee, the government is about to issue a white paper. But be that as it may, I think the immediate past deputy governor actually took up that, and we met with the community. Once we issue the white paper on the Nkari crisis, you know, government has its own processes and procedures. Once we release the white paper, we should be able to go ahead with the implementation of the recommendations of that committee as initiated in that white paper that was actually submitted. But let me also say here that I'm of the belief that as of today, there's no more crisis in Nkari land in the local government. I think the place is a little bit more peaceful now. What we need to do as a government, which I'm planning and is part of my blueprint, is to see how we can assist that community with some physical infrastructure once we're able to actually source for funds to do that. It's part of the areas that we really need some rehabilitation projects that will go in there, because we are going to get people there to return to the community and live their normal life. But the whole area is quite peaceful now.
Okay. Your Excellency, let's try another caller. Hello? Hello? Hello, please, if you must join the program, it's a simple rule. Tune down the volume of your radio or television set, or you can even move away from that set so that His Excellency can hear you loud and clear. We are aware that a lot of people are so excited to speak with the governor, they are on their governor, but to do that, please simply turn down the volume of your set. Let's take another caller. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for doing the simple instruction we gave. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Joseph Otan.
Joseph?
I am indigenous from Santo.
Okay. In our back.
The first woman, we try to pull life for Akwa Ibom in our local government, yes. But okay, I want our government, this present governor, to do something more than that. And they develop and they give us news, because they know development from Akwa Ibom in our local government.
Okay.
I want our governor to do something and help us.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
But are you saying there's no light there?
Light still there.
Okay.
There's no any development because of road.
Okay.
But he has dropped.
He's gone.
Yes,
Okay. I wanted to find out, as of today, since you've mentioned the issue of light, let me also reassure Akwa Ibom people we are doing everything practical to make sure that we enjoy more light than any other place in this country. Today, I'm sure if you get to other places, you will hear a lot of complaints about light. In Akwa Ibom here, the only area I say so again because the community refused to allow us do a substation that we're about doing towards the 4 lanes that could have led us into Osomoma, part of Oron Road, the Tameto area up to Idura. We're actually planning a substation. We've paid for that substation. The equipment have been ordered, but the community refused to allow the construction of that substation. I've met with the chiefs and those village heads. I want to say that once they allow us access for the construction of that substation, that area will be sorted out. As of today, I don't have the figures here, but so many communities, a lot of communities that were cut off, some in the past 15 years, we've restored light. And as of today, in fact, some villages during Easter, I can say so, most of the communities, especially rural dwellers, a whole lot of them on the average had light 18 out of every 24 hours throughout the Easter period. And we're still coasting along with that. My target is, somebody asked, what do we expect in the next 3 years? My target is in the next 3 years. Light is really, really necessary for what we want to do in the state. We should be able to sort out these problems, and a lot of investors are coming in terms of power generation. Transmission is our challenge because we are willing to invest more in distribution. But we should be able to bridge that gap, and how we are going to do it, I still don't need to say on on air, but we are working on something.
Okay.
We'll take some section by section. As of today, the areas want to do industrial estates. We are going to do a target power supply. Let me call it that way.
Okay.
And that will generate to consume straight. Okay. We are working on that. We are installing some equipment and transformers to take care of that.
Okay.
But once those local government areas are ready, but I know between now and this time next year, 4 local governments should be able to at least be sure of steady electricity supply. Whether they will pay for it is what to be discussed after I've done the installation.
Okay.
Okay, there are so many questions here, but I must say some of them have already been tackled, initially. So I'll just take this from Clement Eko in Abia State. He says, accepted the price decline in the international oil market has caused a huge economic recession in Nigeria. Is that insufficient reason for your government to owe local government workers and state parastatals, putting your administration in a permanent brawl with labor union? In fact, can you categorically state the state's indebtedness? I carefully took that coming from the angle of the NLC and all of that.
Let me explain here that I can probably pardon that person. He's speaking outside the state, so probably he's totally out of tune with what is happening in the state. We are not owing anybody's salaries. Even the local government areas I stated here, last month, you see, figures don't lie. It's only liars figure, and we are not liars, so we don't figure anything. It's up for check. What they got from statutory allocation was, I can inflate, but let me not reduce it, so that it could have been more than 2.4 billion.
Yeah.
The wage bill of primary school teachers and local government employees is in the region of over 2.7 billion, and it's been in that trend since last year. We try to create money to make sure they are paid. We have paid local government employees and primary school teachers up to date. Those who have not probably collected much, today is April 3rd, is because probably Easter came at a very good period.
Yeah.
That period Easter came in. If you take away that period where we could actually have done some banking transactions, so Easter just terminated, I think 29th or so. So that's why we entered the Pro 1. But even with that, the instruction was that everybody should be paid promptly. The issue of this verification, BVN, correct account numbers and so on are still some of the problems that we're having, because salary is supposed to be a one-touch button because it's fully automated. So I still appeal to those who receive salaries to check the information they are supplying. Some of these information that they are actually giving are not correct. Somebody will give you an account number and omits a figure, and that automatically will make that account number invalid. So once we are transmitting salary, that person will not get, and that's the first person that will go to the place that hasn't received salary. But in generic terms, I think we don't owe even 1 month's salary. So that person did not get his facts right at all.
Okay. Yes, let's take some more calls now.
Hello?
Please turn down the volume of your television set. Can you do that for us, please? Turn down the volume of your television set, please. Hello? I'm going to disconnect you, please. Remember, that's what Your Excellency, sorry. If you call us and you don't care to turn down the volume of your television set, we'll have no alternative than to disconnect you. Sorry. Okay, let's take another caller. Hello, Hello? Sorry? Some may not be network. Let's take this other caller. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello? Okay, let's try the other line. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello? Hello, good evening. I think we can take this one. Hello, good evening.
Hello? Hello, good evening.
Well, I think we can actually take one question while we're waiting to connect. Your Excellency, let me take you back to the area of tourism. About 2 days ago, we were in Itu, still in search of news. And if you drive along Itu and Itu Calabar Highway, you look around you, you see more of something that can easily be described as an architectural masterpiece. The undulated landscape, the beautiful trees well laid out. And then we got to the sea, and we discovered that actually that can something beautiful can happen there. And I recall that some years back, a group had actually intended hosting what they call the boat regatta, fishing festival, and all of that. And it took me back to Argungu Fishing Festival and the economic importance of that festival. Your Excellency, do you have that in mind?
Let me say something here, Mary. I love whatsoever name Fish Festival you say. It's not in that kind of a river. That river, put 1,000 people there, will swallow in 1 minute. So I won't risk the life of my people.
Okay.
The drought of that river that you're seeing there is nothing to be compared to where they hold those fish festivals. Nobody can try that. The only thing you can try in that water is probably like the boat regatta. And must be those who know how to swim and who are also used to water. But since you've taken me to water transportation, I don't know whether you're aware, we are relaunching a water transportation scheme between Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. People from, the jetty in Oron should be able to cross in a few minutes into Calabar. We've relaunched that. We're actually doing that under public-private partnership. We're going to fine-tune certain areas, get some MOUs signed, dot the I's and cross the T's and get it running. And it should be running purely as a business, providing services for the people, trying to reduce the stress of somebody coming all the way out there, traveling through the bad Calabar to road. And also you mentioned the Calabar to highway. You see, we must follow some certain sequence of tourism development. As a government, under my leadership, I have applied to the federal government that Calabar Itu road up to Aba is such a strategic route to the south-south economically. I've applied that can they give us this route under a concessional agreement where we can source for investors that can actually repair this road. We've done a traffic count, we've done the necessary surveys that we needed to do to actually show the feasibility and the viability of that project. I need only one word from the federal government. What's that word? Approved. If I get that just one word from the federal government, I'll be fine. So in that case, we can go source for investors. I won't tell you the investors that are interested, but as of today, 2 categories of investors have expressed their willingness to actually invest in that road, so that we can actually fix that road, put toll gates, and realize the investment. The people who are applying the road do not mind paying toll on that road, provided the road is motorable. Because if you look at the depreciation on their vehicles, the cost of fixing those vehicles is much more than the cost they would have paid as toll. Or then drive through a world, paved, tarred roads and go along with their business. And even look at the time cost. A road that's supposed to take you less than 1 hour 30 minutes into Calabar metropolis, you're spending 3 hours. At times people even sleep on the road. What an economic loss. So you are journalists, you can help me. Let federal government just consider concessioning that road, allowing us look source for investors to fix that road. The last 2 instances, that road completely collapsed. The gully was about 35 meters deep. I had to use state government money to fix that gully. Up to today, I've not been reimbursed by the government, by the federal government. FEMA came, inspected, and they left. Not only that road, even if you check between Ibawa and Ekparakwa, that's also a federal road. The Ikorobasia back of the east-west road is a federal road. I keep fixing that road. If you drive through that road now, you see a whole lot of maintenance I've done on that road. All these are, funds of the state government that I'm using to do it. But federal government can actually reimburse on those ones I've spent so far so that I can fix more. In the alternative, from Aba to Calabar, we can actually source for investors.
Yeah.
Just give us one word.
Okay.
Approved.
Okay. Your Excellency,
and you have a road.
Okay. Let's take this. Sorry to go back into a little of politics. I don't think I should call that politics, because one would have expected that after elections have come and gone, politics should be left aside for the business of governance to thrive. You listen to the radio sometimes, you read the newspapers, you go online. Some of the misplacement of facts by some highly placed individuals in the society, the level of blackmail, the level of political vendetta in our system, sir. Are you not concerned? Because each time you come out to speak like this, you speak as someone who is not affected by these things. Are you not concerned about the spate of blackmail in this state?
Okay, thank you for that. Let me use this opportunity to let all Akwa Ibom people know that I'm not perturbed by blackmail. Let me tell you something. If you're on a mission and you get distracted, you lose focus. I keep saying, so this is a highly focused government. We know where we're going, we know what to do, we know how to do it, we know when to do it. I keep saying so. God is bringing the resources to do it. That's the only thing holding on now. Once we have the resources, we get these things fixed. So we can't afford to be distracted. And let me also tell you something. Satan told God, he said, look, he's moving up and down, to and fro, looking for who to devour. That's Satan face to face with God, which shows that those detractors, those disruptors will never cease to exist. Because even God says so. He said he created the goldsmith and the waster and everything. So those people will always be there. So if you allow yourself to be distracted, you will lose focus. Because that's the main essence. He said he came to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Three-pronged mission. Why would you bother yourself on that? We're highly focused. We're on a mission. We have a goal. We have a focus. Let them know that I'm not perturbed. I'm not even bothered about those things. They keep writing all kinds of things in the social, the print. It doesn't bother me. Because all I know is I'm here on a mission. And I need to get focused so that I can deliver on that mission. And my mission is, as at the time we leave, Akwa Ibom must have had a solid economic foundation that can run as a solid state. Okay. And we must achieve it.
Okay, Excellency, I think I take a caller now. Hello? Hello?
We lost that.
We lost that. We lost that. Okay.
You keep losing.
Okay, let's see if I can take this one. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. My name is James. You are speaking with His Excellency Derek.
My name is Joseph.
Joseph, welcome to the program.
Yes, I'm speaking from Udom Emmanuel.
Okay, let's have your question.
Please, I want to thank His Excellency for appointing our son to head the Ministry of Environment. But there, please, can I ask His Excellency when the Sikorabama Road will be made?
Yeah, okay. Very direct question.
Joseph, that road, I think from the past administration, it's been done to a certain extent.
Okay.
Remaining the other portions, you won't say will be made, you say will be fully completed. Yeah. And it's ongoing. There's no government that can do everything in just 10 months. Yeah. So give us time so that we can actually fix those ongoing projects.
Okay. Yes,
I want to believe that's a very straightforward question.
Okay.
I need
let's see if we can take another color. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm
Please, can you turn down the volume of your television set?
calling from Michael.
What's your name? And then please turn down the volume of your television set. Is it radio or TV?
From television, sir.
Yes, turn down.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yes, I'm Elder from IK calling.
IK calling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wish I
What
could
about parents that are the government that the current of 50 plus days, sir? Gradually to government without staff.
Sorry, I can't hear you well. Can you take that question again?
I'm talking about the retired local government staff, gratuity, sir.
Gratuity, retired local
Of the
government
retired
staff.
local government staff.
Yes, sir. 3 plus you get, sir.
Which year is that one?
From 2 plus I take it.
From 2012.
Yes, sir. You get.
But okay, all right. Thank you. I will answer your question. Let me explain to the whole world and Akwa Ibom people now that when we came into office, precisely in the month of June, we noticed that gratuities of local government employees were not paid. We cleared the 10 years, starting from 2001 to about 2011. So we cleared 10 years. But let me also explain something here. You know, at times when you're too sugary, people, I think, overindulge. If you look at, we run a unitary system of government in Nigeria. The same way I go for statutory allocation for state, local government go for statutory allocation. Funds are shared between the federal, the state, and the local government. Whatsoever we do as a state today is an intervention. It's not a direct responsibility. I don't owe it as a responsibility to pay even the salary of primary school teachers, all local government employees. So whatsoever I do to look for money to make up for their salaries is intervention. Why am I intervening? Because at the end of the day, it is my people that are affected. I don't care what goes on in other states. All I'm after is I love my people. I care for my people. I'm serving my people with all amount of sincerity. So any way I see anything affecting my people, I should come to their aid. That's exactly what I'm doing. And I do that through normal intervention. Because I just mentioned some figures here that what they go and get from statutory allocation is not enough for them to pay salaries. Same with the state government. What we get, mind you, if we were running a system when the oil price was, say, $120 per barrel, the cost structure automatically are pegged at $120 a barrel. Cost is a function of activity. Once there is an activity, cost must be generated. And once human beings exist, there must be activity. And once there is activity, there must be cost. And costs will always find a way to increase in one way or the other because there is inflation. So if you factor in inflation with that point in time where the oil price was $120, compared to it now, like look at the price they use in giving us the March allocation was based on the oil price as of December. As of December, oil price was less than $30. So it means that we're running at less than 20% of what we used to get as a state. Meanwhile, the cost structure has skyrocketed. So people should also know where there's a responsibility of the state government and the responsibility of the local government. For the fact that we come in to assist the local government to meet some of these obligations, it's not our primary responsibility. We are only coming under just one word: intervention, not a direct responsibility. So let people get that clear. But that doesn't mean we will not continue to intervene. It affects our people. I'm passionate to see our education rise again. So certainly we will continue to intervene, pending when the economy will be buoyant enough to stand on its own. We'll do our possible best to see how we can help sort out some of these. To me, these are, these are basic needs that shouldn't even come on air to discuss. But it's a challenge. Once it's a challenge, you must let people know the challenges that you're facing. So it's just that it has happened at this time. I've heard a lot of cost-cutting measures that certain states have had. Those things are not options to us at this point in time. We try to look for how at least to manage the situation.
Unfortunately, time is not our friend. There's a very important question, which I'm sure we don't ask our problem. People will really get agitated. Your Excellency, let's get back into a little of politics again.
Please.
The local government elections, where we can talk about that now. It's impending. I should be expected. There are a lot of expectations at the grassroots level, and also your party, the PDP, is about going to congresses and lots more about politics. What can you say about this? When should the combatants go?
I can only advise Akwa Ibom people to relax, go on with their normal businesses.
Yes.
Leave politics for us, the politicians.
Yes.
If you are a private sector man, don't. If you are a pastor in the church, keep reading your Bible. Okay. Keep praying for the state. Okay. Keep doing what you were doing. Leave politics for the politicians. But let me also say here, a lot of people talk about, Congress, local government. Please, I want to emphasize here that at this point in time, we will not compromise quality for any reason.
Yeah.
If we are bringing out a local government chairman, you must worth being a chief executive. Because the local government chairman is a chief executive. You must assess yourself. Do you have the qualities of a chief executive? Combine your political prowess with other things that will actually make you a leader. Don't just come. The only credential you have is that since you were born, you've not done anything. That's not even a credential to me. You must be able to manage resources to be a local government chairman because you're a chief executive. And you cannot come out as a chief executive and not be able to function as a chief executive.
Yeah.
So I also want to appeal. What we say in PDP is PDP power to the people. As we are taking power back to the people, to the units, to the ward, to the local government, to the senatorial district, let the people give us the best that will understand the dynamics of how things work in modern world. Don't give us somebody that will drag us backwards. Don't give us somebody that will not flow with the tide of time. Please, that's the only appeal I want to make. Where they bring us, will set standards that will. Our politicians are, in fact, I don't want to say the best you can get in the country, but we are one of the best in terms of quality, manpower, and everything. So let them go and get those politicians who are deeply rooted into politics and at the same time they have the quality of being a chief executive. Those are the people that will run local government because that's the position. It's the position of a chief executive. The people that will run the wards, if you are a chapter, a ward, and so on, let the people also bring out. But be rest assured, it is power to the people. And I think that's where I live.
Okay, Your Excellency.
So, James, leave politics for us.
Okay. But somebody once said that politics is too serious a business to be left in the hands of politicians alone. Which tells me, Your Excellency, the next question, because let's talk about some of these small issues. The rerun in the House of Assembly elections across the state. After all the noise, your party at 100%, you swept through the pool again. What does that say about the politics of Akwa Ibom? So then, above all, from all the things you hear, the rumors people make, what's the relationship of your executive arm of government with the State House of Assembly, both corporately and individually, as members of that house?
We have one of the best relationships in this country today. Not just House of Assembly, between the three arms of government: judiciary, legislature, executive. We run fantastic system. But let me also say something here about the last rerun on those 4 state seats. I keep telling people all over the world, this one is no more for Akwa Ibom because they already know. PDP is like a religion in Akwa Ibom. It eats into the fabric. So we don't play politics where people just go and sit in Abuja with propaganda on how they are so much on ground, this party, that party. But mind you, I have a policy. I don't mention other parties. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one political party in Nigeria, and that's PDP. Any other parties, other parties. I'm sure also you know, if you're sitting in the boardroom of Coca-Cola, you don't mention Pepsi. You mention Coca-Cola and any other beverage. So as far as I'm concerned, it's PDP and any other party. So, but as of today, minus joke, PDP is Akwa Ibom is PDP. Okay. And Nigerians should come to accept that. It's like a religion. And above all, PDP is the only party that have made Akwa Ibom people see meaningful development, that are taking Akwa Ibom into the global sphere, that are taking Akwa Ibom, made Akwa Ibom people leave that era that they were under servitude into the era now that they are, entrepreneurs, world-class people. It's only PDP as a party that have been able to do that. So they see future, they see development. Everything a Akwa Ibom person needs, he sees in PDP. So why wouldn't that person be a PDP person? So PDP is Akwa Ibom is PDP. Let the whole world come to know that, and only help us join to build this global religion of Akwa Ibom that is called PDP. I said so the other time that a young lady who wants to do praise and worship in church, instead of saying praise the Lord, can say PDP, and everyone will still say hallelujah. So I think we'll come to that. James, let me also say something here. Let me sound it as a note warning. There are some people who just do not realize that we are now under governance. Campaign is over, and I think as of today, we are trying to sort that out even at the federal level. Some of those rantings will not take it any longer. So we are trying to sort that out and to make sure most of them get disciplined by the authorities that be. So I will leave that at that level and let people realize that this is the time for governance.
Okay.
We won't tolerate that again. Any further breach of peace or any rant that will threaten the peace in the state, we will take that person, for that person to know, we will not compromise our unity, our existence as a people because of any selfish interest.
Okay. Your Excellency, we've been told we have less than 5 minutes or 6 to go on the program, but I'd like to fire this short. When it was, I said, and we passed by the paper mill, Akwa Ibom paper mill, and the last time I recall, we had a story on network news which indicated from our investigation from that community that the paper mill has actually been sold off, and then the buyers of that company have converted the whole area for some other things, and then the chiefs from the area confirmed the information. Your Excellency, you can take a step further from there by also trying to find out this. The place is actually a shadow of its old self. It's in Akwa Ibom State. I'd also like to bring to your notice the aluminum smelter company in Ikodabasi. Those of us who knew the place in its heydays, when you get there today, you feel like shedding tears. It's also a shadow of its old self. Your Excellency, it is in Akwa Ibom State. Considering that you are an apostle of industrialization, sir, what are you doing to ensure that these companies are put in their proper perspective?
Quickly, because you don't have time. For Akwa Ibom paper mill, the technology of this age, everything installed at this time cannot function in this modern age. So let us not be sentimental about it. If we need a new newsprint, we must set a new one. The only thing valid in that place is that land and probably the plantation. Nothing, the equipment, the whatever you think is out of touch with modern technology. If you want something, we can get the land and do a newsprint. I'm sure the federal government will compensate us with a better industry for that one that they've sold. I want to believe that. Coming back to ASCON, ASCON is intact. I've had regular meetings, even with the current MD. ASCON, the problem with ASCON is just a problem that cannot be solved by state government, can only be solved by the federal government. It's both a judicial solution and also a diplomatic solution, which can only be done at the federal level, not at the state government. But based on my interaction so far with the company, they are still getting grants and subvention from their parent company to service the equipment and the machinery. As of today, when I checked, the chief executive of that company said that they have a case in the Supreme Court. I can only appeal to the judiciary. Please, if there is a case in the Supreme Court, let them look into it and expedite action and come to terms with what is right. I cannot actually get into the system of the judiciary system. I mean, separation of powers. But what I'm sure is that that plant, if you get in there and you see it lying fallow and wasted, I mean, you can shed tears. You can actually shed tears for the kind of investment we've done there. But I want to reassure myself and also the Nigerians, because this one goes beyond Akwa Ibom, that the investment of this country in ASCON should not be allowed to waste, because that place means a whole lot. I can actually carve out 7 profit centers today out of ASCON, and I allow them to know that. Can carve out 7 profit centers. Once they sort out the judiciary issue, diplomatic or whatsoever issue, they should allow that place to run. gas was their major problem. Now we have a right of way from our gas processing plant to Akwa Ibom power company. So with just less than a kilometer, they can link up the gas line. So I think it's a place that I really look forward to. I'm going on an inspection of the facilities in 2 weeks' time. I agreed that with the company. Once we do that, we'll jointly issue a press conference and also try to see the relevant ministries of the federal arm, and then for us to actually see what we can do jointly together to expedite action. There are two groups fighting for that asset. I want to believe the federal government will be able to sort it out. Now that the plant is not totally condemned. I thank the Roswell company. They are still servicing the plant. I've been holding meetings with them, but we should be able to revive that plant once the judicial process is over.
Your Excellency, you cannot. I wish that for the purpose of this program, we could introduce a time work and hold time for some time. We would have had a lot of things to talk about, but as we begin to wind down, let's talk about human empowerment, wealth creation, which is one of your cardinal points. What can you say about that, particularly relating to youth's skill development and the wonderful works your wife is doing with her pet project? And maybe so many things to talk about. You've not mentioned something about the coconut plantation, which quite people are so excited about. Can you? I don't know how we can do it. How we can talk about all these.
Unfortunately, there are so many things to talk about.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm also happy, I'm excited. It means a government of 10 months will have so much to discuss that are purely development.
Yeah.
You see us sitting here, we are not abusing anybody. We are not interested in, we are not seeking personal scores. Governance goes beyond that. You see, if we actually borrow democracy from other developed nations, we should borrow both everything in total. Democracy is just trying to make sure we are accountable to the people. They say it's government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So let's make sure that we adopt a total approach. We are here. We are concentrating on development. We're not interested in anybody, because this is a time for us to deliver on the promise of the people. Coming back to youth empowerment, I said even tomorrow, the Akis online, and even there are some youth that were trained outside on ICT. Today, if I tell you what they can do, about 40 of them, I'm going to also review what they can do within the week so that we can see where we can place them. I made this manpower because I'm also calling on the federal ministry, and also there's what we call the Federal Character Commission. We are yet to even fill our quota. We have such, skilled manpower that could actually fill up this. And I keep also saying so to the federal government. Largest producer of oil as of today, 30% of the oil of this country produced in Akwa Ibom. We've never produced even an MD of DPR, PPMC, NNPC. We've never, there are so many that we can.
Yes, sorry, since you mentioned that, who we had all the time. As governor of Akwa Ibom, are you not concerned that Akwa Ibom State has almost lost its position as the chairman, or with the chairmanship of the NDDC?
I don't think so, because you see, democracy is about the law.
Yeah.
And take away the law, take away rule of law.
Sorry, the MD.
Take away the law, no democracy.
Yeah.
And our president is a man who follows and who obeys the law to the letter. So the law is there. We can't reinvent the wheel. The law that sets up says I must take my turn for a certain number of years. You have not done the years. You can't rewrite the law now. So whatsoever we are doing now, we are still probably trying to make sure that they put things in right perspective, and they hand over what belongs to Akwa Ibom to run full number of years. I've never lost sleep one day.
Yeah.
It's like if you're elected to be a governor for 4 years, nothing can change it now, no matter what. You can only, well, at times it gets truncated by, but those things don't happen again. This is pure democracy. I'm sure Akwa Ibom will take the full number of years.
Okay.
So I don't want to make that an issue on air right now, because I know the law will be obeyed and Akwa Ibom will produce the MD for good 3 years, 4 years as a case.
Okay. Like I said, I just wish we can expand the time, extend the time for now.
We've been told that we have to go, but I was actually asked to ask one question, which I wouldn't know how to face my colleague if I get back to the office. Your Excellency, please, in just less than 1 minute.
Okay.
The lady asked, I should ask the governor of Akwa Ibom State if actually Peacock Paint is producing, that there are controversies in some quarters. I know the last time we hosted you, you gave us the assurance that it was producing. I just need you to reassure the people.
Thank you. Let me reassure the people. Peacock Paint is producing. You see, when you're trying to revamp a company that was dead, waking a dead man from life goes through a process. So many things you will do. At times, it could be the ear must have been rotten, the shoe and so on. So to patch those things back, to bring the person back to look like a beautiful bride will take time. Yes. But I think we've just hired a chief executive for them, who has the technical expertise. And we first of all will fix the people. The plant that we were to make the oil paint and the marine paint, I think I think we've done a part payment. Once that plant also comes in, the machines for all those ones, they will see a very modern factory. I think why they are saying this is because today now we're concentrating mainly on water paints, not going on oil and also the marine and also the car paint. Once we're running at full capacity, people won't say that again. And also, people are fond of actually, we're so much in a haste. You're waking something that was totally dead and buried and rotten. Won't you even give time? It must have a teaching problem. Certain things will settle. And mind you, who are their major customers in terms of marketing? And we also came up with the fact that we didn't want to fire anybody. Even in life, you must get a refresher program. Somebody who has been there in the past 15 years doesn't even understand the modern techniques of marketing. So, modern resource management. Let them also allow the company to go through this process so they can stand. If we just rush now and then cover up underneath it is rust, then we just do a text cover on it. The rust will still eat deep under, and then at the end of the day, we just know we not have what we wanted. Let's give us time to actually clean up and then put up something. But as of today, Peacock Paint is still producing the emotion paints. We are yet to produce the marine paints and the car paints. Those equipment, the machines to do that are in transit. That done. Before you run out, let me use this opportunity to thank the private people once again and reassure them it's a highly focused government. We are out to do exactly what we promised the people. We'll get it done. Lights, water, name it. So many things are also coming up. Even in Uyo metropolis here, we are tackling the erosion problem so that the coming rainy season, at least we will not solve the problems 100%. We would have gone far in addressing most of the issues. There are so many areas we can discuss and then we'll talk about it. But I'm sure time will tell whether this is a serious government or not. I thank you all for all your support. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for standing by us. We can only deliver on our promises. The dividend of democracy under the watchful eyes of Governor Udom Emmanuel is sure. I thank you all. God bless you.
Excellency, honestly, I'm sure most people are so excited and have even still with a lot of anxiety expected that we should have extended.
It's a quarterly media chat. So we'll start again the next one.
So it's a promise. We hope to see you in the next 3 months. His Excellency will be back here, and Miriam, we can start to prepare the questions now. Now let me, on behalf of Akwa Ibom people, both at the home and in diaspora, thank Your Excellency for finding time to make this kind of chat available. I'm sure a lot of people have learned a lot from their governor, and I'm ready to do more by partnering with the government, supporting the government to move this step forward. On behalf of the entire crew here, I'd like to appreciate His Excellency for being on the program. Thank you, Excellency, for joining us on this show. Let me also use this opportunity to thank His Excellency Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, a gentleman of honor who's giving strong support to his principal, the governor. The last time we did this, he was there, and today he's here to give us his fatherly background. Don't forget that he's also a media person. Some of the very important big men and women in Akwa Ibom were also here, led by the distinguished Senator Aniete Okon. Let me thank the Commissioner for Information of Akwa Ibom, Mr. Nyakanumana, the DG of AKBC, General Manager of NTA, and the General Manager Radio, Atlantic Radio, and of course Planet Radio, and the entire team here of AKBC, led by Director General Pastor Nietu. In spite of the fact that this took place on a Sunday, it's our own church here today. Okay, on behalf of Miriam, and the entire team. Okay, I forgot to mention that the Secretary to Government of Akwa Ibom State was also here on behalf of Miriam and the entire team here. My name is James. I thank you for staying tuned to the program. We'll see you in the next 3 months. Good evening.
Yes, I believe. I believe in you. Yes, I believe. You wanna know? Yes, I believe.
It's a beautiful day to be tuned to 700 Club Nigeria. I am Ethel, and I welcome you to yet another life-changing episode of the program.
And I am Barine. Like always, today we'll bring you true stories that will inspire you into living the real life that God desires for you.
You know, Jesus did say, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly.
And that's exactly what the people in our stories found. Real life. After years of hurt and abuse, they now live joyful and fulfilled lives.
So for us, let's meet Kimberly, a young woman who had her share of deep pain, but wonderful healing.
You don't understand, it kills something in you each time something dies.
Kimberly Ray was just 3 years old the first time she was raped by her stepfather. It happened again and again for the next 6 years.
I was very depressed at that age, very sad. Why did he choose me? What did I do different at that time that made him, his sick mind, be attracted to a 3-year-old child?
Her mother knew about all the rapes and never said a thing.
There was one occasion where my mother was leaving for work, and my stepfather had me at the top of the stairs with him, and his robe was kind of open a little bit, and he was kind of messing with my hair. My mother was down the bottom of the stairs, and she kind of looked at me in a look of disgust. And what I read from her eyes back then was, just do what you're going to do with her, and let it be done before I get home from work. And that bothered me for many years.
There was one place Kim found solace: church.
Being in church was really wonderful. I enjoyed it very much, but I was confused. I was confused trying to figure out who this God, the preacher, was preaching about. That he was preaching about love and preaching about, kindness and hope and joy, but that's not what I was hearing in my household.
Later that year, her mother told Kim and her brothers she didn't want them anymore and sent them to live with their father, whom they'd never met.
I could not believe that this woman, my mother, just dropped us off with no warning to this man. I've already slept with the men in her life, And now she doesn't want me no longer. Now she wants me. Now she's going to give me to a man who I don't even know. And now she's going to just drop us off, no warning, no nothing. And I remember that feeling saying, okay, the world's going to pay now. I remember saying, this is it.
So at the very tender age of 9, sex, drugs, and alcohol became Kim's obsession. She stopped going to church and started hanging out with older teens.
I was very mature then. I had wisdom way above my age at 9.5 years old, 10. I was scheming back then at that age because I started seeing things more. I was just so hurt by my mother. I just didn't care.
Kim never told anyone about the abuse. Her teen years were unstable, her actions erratic. She lived with many different men, had 3 children, and continued to use drugs. She tried prostitution for a few months, which landed her in jail. Even in the turmoil, one thing remained constant: the emptiness she felt.
That time I was battling depression really bad. I was battling low self-esteem. At that time, I was 80 pounds at that time. I lost so much weight there. There was no mother and father to call on. There was nobody there.
Kim decided that she wanted a better life for her and her children. So, after her release from jail, she took 2 jobs to provide for her family. But try as she might to move forward, drugs and her secret past kept their grip. The only thing keeping her going was her love for her children.
They gave me something to live for. I remember thinking, if I don't deal with this now, these dark secrets, it's going to pass on to my daughter. It's going to pass on to my son. I knew that I couldn't do this on my own. There was something in me. I knew automatic. I know I could not raise these 3 kids on my own. It was impossible. I didn't have the wisdom how to do it. But I knew there was something greater that can help me raise these 3 babies, and that was God.
So Kimberly committed herself fully to God and started going to church.
I knew there was something that preacher was saying I wanted. I started opening up more to God. I started to learn the difference between a religion and relationship.
Over the next 10 years, Kim grew in her relationship with God. She quit the drugs and a few years later married. She went to seminary and became a pastor. Yet one struggle remained. Kim was still depressed.
I didn't want to get out of bed. I remember saying, Kimberly, you gotta feed the kids cereal. You gotta get ready for school. It was a fight every day to get out that bed. I still had not dealt with those dark secrets yet. I was going home to kill myself every single day.
Kim decided to end her life.
I remember going to the bathroom, got the paper and pencil in the bathroom, wrote up my will, apologized to my children about, I just couldn't do it any longer. I'm just ready to